Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Um, I'm not quite sure how long this hangout is going to last because everybody seems to be busy this afternoon. I'll go ahead and say my piece and we'll see what develops. First of all, I like to start out with housekeeping. I say these things every week and they need to be said every week simply to prevent any kind of misunderstandings about what we do here and how we operate. First of all, we try to use I statements and we try to keep everything at a PG rating because I plan on archiving these Hangouts forever and ever and ever, or until something else happens. We don't do therapy in these Hangouts. We try to support each other. We try to encourage each other. If there's healing in these Hangouts, it's self-healing. None of us have the credentials to be therapists, so we don't even pretend to be therapists here. We don't do judgment here, both for each other and for each other's ideas, and we try to share much respect. So, and I can't think of anything else in the way of housekeeping except for I am planning to have a Wednesday night hangout. I'm not quite sure when that will be. Um, if there doesn't seem to be the need for a Friday hangout, then we may go to a Wednesday hangout. But that I haven't even. I'm just thinking out loud. I haven't. Nothing's written in stone yet. So, having said that, let me check if there's any activity anywhere. Okay, I got one person watching. And there doesn't seem to be any activity on the Google Plus page. Okay, so moving right along. Um, we've been talking about, for the last several months, we've been talking about Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude by W. Clement Stone and Dr. Napoleon Hill. Uh, and the 17 success principles that they talk about, those principles are not original with them, but they cobbled them together, collated them as it were. And Believe and Achieve is W. Clement Stone's Principles of Success, written by one of his disciples, Samuel A. Seibert. I believe this is how you pronounce it. And the principles, each in this book, for the first book. Having said all of that, we are at the end of our look at the 17 success principles, and the last one is cosmic habit force. And I can't remember if I think this was one that W. Clement Stone added in because Dr. Hill's works, normally he had 16. In the Law of Success, he had 16. And then in Think and Grow Rich, his #1 bestseller, he reduced it to 13. So I think Cosmic Habit Force is W. Clement Stone's innovation. But basically, Cosmic Habit Force, although it sounds mystical and esoteric, is actually just inertia. Things keep going the way they are going, or they stay put the way they have stayed put. And the good news for us is that if we apply these success principles on a daily basis, they will eventually become second nature or automatic. And at that point, we won't have to work so hard. I'm not there yet. Having just turned 50 years old, I am not there yet. So, okay. And I really don't have much to say beyond that, except in Success Through Positive Mental Attitude, they talk about Benjamin Franklin, and he had 13 values that he wanted to incorporate into his life, and they're listed in there. I won't go through the trouble of trying to find them, but anyway, what he did was he would choose one value a week, and he had a little notebook that he would make notes on and make tick marks on if he violated these values that he had, and it seemed to work for him. He could go through the course of his values or principles 4 times a year or whatever, and he says it really helped him out or whatever. So we could focus on one of these principles every week. I have been joined by Blue. Welcome, Blue. I just right now saw you. So, okay. There again, everything seems to be going well. Hey, Blue, how's it going? How's the weather in El Paso? Yeah, it's not been so cold here. It's been a little dicey. We've had rain and on and off, and I think we're going to get another batch of rain this evening. So, and then after that, I think it's supposed to cool down. But it's the weather's been enjoyable here. I must say, we lucked out. We didn't get all the storms and I don't know havoc other places in the country seem to get, but we did get our share of rain, which is a good thing for us. I'm glad to see California's getting some rain, although I wish it wouldn't come so hard and fast for those folks. They are not used to it, not in the least. Okay. I would talk about something else, but I don't really have much to talk about. Okay, Blue says hell, rain mixed with a little snow this morning. Well, El Paso is elevated, right? I mean, it's the name comes from the fact that it's a mountain pass and there's 3 ranges around it. So I mean, there's a little bit of elevation there. So okay, I'm trying to think what else is going on in the mental health community. I saw something on my Google Plus page that January is Mental Health Month, which is good to know 8 days into the month. So I was trying to think what else is going on in the community. I think Dell Channel has reduced the number of hangouts he's hosting because of basically a lack of interest. 23 meters. Now, if my math serves me, well, that's about what 2,500 feet. I was trying to convert kilometers into miles, and I don't have to do that. It's meters. It's meters into yards, right? A meter is basically a yard. So okay, so it's higher than I am. I think where I am is maybe 50 feet above sea level, and we're about 60 or 70. Okay, meters. Okay, meters to feet. Okay. So if it's meters, okay, if it's meters to feet, then it's actually close to 7,000 feet, right? 7,000 feet. Okay. Um, but anyway, we are about 70 miles away from the Gulf of Mexico, and we're only 50 feet above sea level. So if something happens, that's why quite frankly, hurricanes are so devastating to us. Is because the land is so flat that the water can't get out. 4,000 feet there. Okay, 4,000. Okay. I know some of the mountains around there. Uh, they're about. Well, I'll just look that up rather than me guessing. I thought about going to the highest elevation in Texas. That was one of the things. When I lived in Georgia, I got to the highest elevation in Georgia. And okay, the highest elevation in Texas is Guadalupe Peak, which is 8,751 feet. I would imagine it's in the Guadalupe National Park. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so not too far away from El Paso. Okay. As I was saying, I had gone to the highest elevation in Georgia, which I think is about 4,500. The Franklin Mountain is along, okay, so that would be the closest mountain to El Paso, I'm guessing. Okay, and then the highest elevation, I think, in Tennessee and North Carolina is around 6,000 feet. So the Rocky Mountains are a little bit newer, geologically speaking, than the Appalachians. So they're higher in elevation. They haven't had as much chance. Okay, just above downtown. Okay, that's what I miss about living in Atlanta and around Knoxville and the North Georgia mountains and East Tennessee mountains is it is just so flat around here. You know, when I first got here, it was real easy for me uh, to lose my bearings about where I was. Of course, now it's changed. Now you just look for the highest freeway, and you can get your bearings that way. Okay. I think I'm going to keep this open on YouTube for a few more minutes, and then we may take it private. Everybody's doing something. I'm sure people have New Year's resolutions, and people want to get healthy. People want to get started doing things, and on their goals for the year. So, and I think that's all for the good. I guess I should say, if anybody wants to come in, maybe not to this hangout, but maybe to some of the other hangouts, just leave me a message in the comments or something, or join my follow me on Google Plus, and I can add you to a circle, and we'll get you in that way. A lot of people are doing years in review. I started this notebook on 4/18/15, and the first hangout was actually conducted from a legal pad. Just some rough notes from a legal pad, and that's been almost 8 months ago. And I've kept all my notes. I'm about halfway through this notebook, so I can probably keep this notebook for another 8 months. Okay, yeah, Liberty County. Blue is in telling us that the highest point in that area of Texas is Liberty County, and that is right around 300 feet. I think you're right about that. I know the Piney Woods. There just seemed to be a little bit of elevation in the Piney Woods, and you get up to around Huntsville, which I think is kind of like the same latitude as Liberty County. You get up around Huntsville, the topography does start to get hilly, and which is why Sam Houston moved there, because he said it reminded him of the hills of East Tennessee, and he felt like he was home. So that's where his last home was. So yeah, but the closer you get to the Gulf of Mexico, the flatter and flatter it is. So last man standing, Marvin. Okay, that's an old private joke. I'm going to take that as a compliment, Lou, simply because rather than call myself stubborn, I call myself persistent. So, okay. I'm going to do one more check of it's about time for me to start repeating some of the topics, because we've grown in the past year, haven't we? And we can keep growing. Okay, let me do a check of the. Okay, so if I shut down the Google, the YouTube, I'm not going to. I've got 2 people watching now. Okay, gosh, now I have to make a decision. Okay. I've thought about posting the link in the information bar on the YouTube page like I used to do, but I'm not that desperate just yet. There might be a troll out there just waiting to get in. Okay. Oh gosh, Blue, don't say that. It's I think of more like hills and valleys or whatever. People get. I mean, hopefully the trend is upward. Okay, well, I don't see any reason for me to continue with the YouTube stream, so I'm going to cut that portion off. Before I do so, however, let me take this opportunity to invite everyone back next week, which will be Friday, January 15th, 2016, at the same time. If I do a Wednesday thing, it'll be in addition to the Friday thing. It won't necessarily be a replacement to the Friday thing. And then next week, we're going to start what I think is going to be a 22-week series on the major cards of the tarot deck. And we will start with the first one, which is the Fool, which is no reference to me, but it's a reference to everybody. And we'll talk about that more next week. So on that note, let me say goodbye to everybody in YouTube land, and we'll see you next time.